Hey folks, it's me once again, and I am here. Sorry. And I am here to do this little video in honor, not of a famous person this time, but someone who's definitely a star in my eyes. And for privacy reasons, I am not gonna say her full name, just Molly. Molly was someone I've known all the way back to my elementary school years. But I know some people who have known her since way before then. The main thing I remember though about Molly is that she was very sweet, courteous, just like everyone else has said at her service, and everyone I know personally who I've known her for years. I mean, I wasn't like one of the gang, as they sometimes would refer to certain friends, but I was a classmate of hers throughout the elementary and middle school years that she's someone that she got along with pretty well or decently. Yeah, I remember in some cases, some people have seen my Facebook posts and saying how I mentioned how Molly was a sweetheart even when she was a slacker, and by that I meant like in study hall back in like the 7th or 8th grade, one of those. She would sometimes be on certain days with our teacher's aide, Miss Hogan. She would sometimes be, in a very jokey way, be all tuckered out and be like, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like working right now. That's what I meant. I didn't mean it in a rude way. I was meaning it in a jokey way. How she would always do that cute little thing. And I know how she was probably feeling at that time, and being like not feeling like going to school and things like that. I mean, I felt like that for most of my school career. I also remember I put on Facebook how I said that she was trying to remember exactly. Well, in this, I didn't say it in a post, but I said it in a message to, I think, her uncle, and her uncle or someone in the family that's putting together this cool project for her in her honor. I was saying to him, and I've said this to a few other people too, not many of them may know this, but I am autistic, and I, especially when I was younger, was prone to repeat things and talk about certain things again and again and again and again throughout the elementary and middle school years, especially. Certain people, even ones I was close with, would sometimes get a little bit irritated by that. But Molly was one of the more accepting ones. She didn't seem to mind the amount of times I would mention a certain movie or a certain whatever, she that was one of the things I always will appreciate about her, is that she always treated me like an equal classmate. She never treated me like I was some stupid or annoying autistic kid. And it seems like, for the most part, from the way people talk to me, I'm not that at all. I mean, I'm autistic, but I don't think most people look at me as stupid or anything like that. At least I hope people don't look at me that way. But those are like some of the key memories that I'll always remember. And another one that really sticks out, though, for me was the like, I think the last time I really saw her, or one of the last times I really saw her, was when we went to a certain field trip, I think, during our endpoint at Lawrence School, and somewhere in the beginning of high school. We went to like some Boston thing or something, and I remember like kind of lingering around her and a couple mutual friends of ours, Kelly and Nadia, and Molly, and I assume the other two didn't seem to mind me lingering around them or almost hovering over them. But the thing with me is, especially back then, I would always stick really close to people who made me feel comfortable. And that's what it was. I wasn't doing that to annoy anyone. I was just people I felt comfortable being around. Especially Molly. She had that, I don't know what it was about her. For some reason, I just felt very comfortable and safe with her. I really wish I could remember what that trip was. But after getting this news, though, I really do remember thinking, like, that I really wish I could have spent more time, but life sometimes sends us down different paths. That's how I gotta look at it. It's the truth. It sometimes sends us down different paths. But I still, like I said in the post, I still would think about her from time to time. I mean, not in an obsessive way, but I just sometimes kick back, or when I'm kicking back, a random person from my past will pop in, and I'll be like, I wonder how so-and-so is doing, or I wonder if so-and-so is okay right now. And I remember the other night when I saw a couple friends of mine, Rachel and Bobby, I said to them about how, I was wondering with them if they were going to the service, and they said yes, and that they were, and I was mainly saying to them, well, I just want, that's good to hear, because I want to know who will be there for me to make me feel at ease, because these things aren't really things, they're obviously not things I enjoy going to, but when I'm around people that I know and feel comfortable with, I'll feel more at ease. And I said to Rachel, well, at least now I won't feel too embarrassed to cry. And she said, there's no reason for you to be ashamed of crying or be embarrassed about it. And I thought more about it, and I'm like, well, that is true. I shouldn't be. I'm sorry to anyone who's watching this that may think this is sappy, but I'm just doing what I've done with all the other eulogy videos. I'm speaking directly from the heart. That's why you see me pause sometimes or stammer with words or mix up words when I mean to say something else. It's because I'm trying to find the right things to say. But I can definitely say this was probably one of the most beautiful services, though, that I've been to, in terms of seeing the amount of people that were there, and people were able to mix in happy stories. I wish I knew which one of these people was the one that told this a few nice little stories about Molly. Might have been Evelyn here. I'm not saying last names due to privacy. Might have been her, but whoever it was, though, they had some really cute stories about how Molly, and the cousins would vacation somewhere, and how the older cousins would always scare the little ones, like by telling them certain things. One of the things that she mentioned was how Molly told her that she's like, "I'm a lifeguard," and it was like something about like a little swimming mishap, but she was able to laugh at it now, kind of thing. But seriously though, that and a couple of the other things, I have to admit, it did make me choke up. I'm calm now, so that's why you probably won't see me in too much pain. But seriously though, like, if you were the person sitting next to me, you probably would have been definitely like, "Oh my goodness, this guy's a wreck." But I'm not ashamed to admit that I was a wreck, or a small wreck, at this service. It was tough, because when I think of people like Molly, I fast forward, my brain sort of fast forwards back to when we were little kids, and just that visual makes it much more tough for me. Her brother John is listed on here. He didn't read the words, but a friend of his did, and they were very, very sweet. The guy delivered it so well. It was like there was no piece of paper there, even though he was reading from it to get what John had written. It was amazing. It was very sweet and very heart warming, and heart tugging on the heartstrings. But it's very very nice. And once again, the crowd thing, that's really what made me happy. I knew that Molly was loved, but I did not have a clue to how loved she really was, and is, I should say. Last time I felt that was at this other kid's funeral, who went to high school with, a kid I didn't really know well, but someone that I know made quite the impression. And that was the last time I really saw a big majority of certain classmates too, was at that service. So hopefully one of these days, the way I can see a lot of these old classmates is by inviting them to a premiere, to a movie I hope to make one day. Now that would be a great way to get back together. There was, let's see what else is in here. But for the most part, that's it. I will say though that seeing Taylor and Rose was very nice, very sweet, and it was great to see how thankful they were to me about being able to make it. I wasn't going to let anything really interrupt this for me. Oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot to mention. Sorry. Okay. Just had to look at something quick. With Molly's grandmother, I believe the father said, when I say father, I mean the priest, was saying to him like about how the night before they went to see him or something, she saw a glimmer up in the stars in the sky and a floating feather, kind of like what you see in Forrest Gump. And she was saying, is that a sign? Is that a sign telling us that Molly is trying to tell us that she's okay? And for me personally, I think it was. I definitely think it was her saying that she is in a much better place and she's very much at peace. And the things that they talked about with hobbies and interests and everything that Molly had, whether it be like helping out with animals or rides in her dad's Corvette, and the looking up at the moon or something small like that. It really reminded me of an idol of mine, Vincent Price. Her same love for life very much for me reflected how, from what I heard, Vincent Price's was, where he enjoyed every moment. It's like she enjoyed every moment, I'm sure. Yeah, Molly, I do wish, I'm sorry, I really do wish though, Molly, that we had gotten to get a bit closer or something, or gotten to know each other more than just in the classroom or just on the playground or just on the field trips. The main thing I want you to know is thank you for helping me feel comfortable with you, and especially a time that I was very much a closeted person and not a people person in any way. And once again, thank you for not treating me like an annoying autistic kid like certain other people that I've known over the years who are also good friends have not treated me. But I do understand what they were saying. And before this video wraps up, I'm going to read the little word up on her on the Chapman Gleason's website, because it's very heartwarming, very touching, very sweet, and a couple parts are actually pretty humorous. See you in a second. Hello, and of course I'm back here again to finish up this video. To protect the privacy of certain names, I'm just gonna read what's on here for you. Yeah, like verbatim as much as I can. Okay, so for the, I will turn though to give a plug in for something. Alright, so Molly, 24, of Falmouth, passed away unexpectedly on September 3rd, 2017. She was born in Falmouth to Sonny and Jennifer of Falmouth. Molly cherished much in her lifetime, and this is the part that I was talking about that has some of the cute, funny stuff. Once again, Molly cherished much in her lifetime: God, family, gardening, wildlife, fishing with Fafa, her dog Uno, the full moon, music, and rides with her dad in his Corvette. Kind of like what I was talking about earlier. In addition to her beloved parents, she will be missed by her brother John, her grandparents Trafton and Jane of Falmouth, her dear cousins known as the Gang, which is why I mainly referred to them as that earlier in the video. And they really were too. They were like a gang. They were like a little club, especially the ones that I knew. Like her and Taylor were tight. You got Alexandra, Samuel, Evelyn, or Evelyn. I hope one of those is correct. If I said it wrong, I'm sorry. And Hannah, as well as many other family and friends. And this plugin that I'm talking about is going to be right here. If you want, you can give little donations to the Cape Wildlife Center, which is in Barnstable, as you can see. Just felt it would be appropriate to put that in there, just for in her memory, since the GoFundMe for the other thing will be closing soon. And then this is what I wrote on Facebook back when I got the news. I was one of the ones that was, I guess, late to the party, I guess you could sort of say. Heaven now has a beautiful new angel. Molly was a great friend since the beginning. She was always such a bright spirit. Even when she was being a slacker, she was still a sweetheart. This loss is probably the most painful for me this year. And as you can see on my YouTube channel, I've had a lot of losses, but none of them are as painful as a childhood friend, the loss of a childhood friend, even one that you haven't seen for years. The last time I felt this much pain was when my Auntie Amy passed. I love you, Molly. I wish I told you that. And I'm going to add this as an extension, that I wish I told you that back when we were still in each other's lives. But as a lot of people probably remember, back in the middle school years, I was deathly shy and never had the courage to say anything to a girl, or really to anyone. I know we haven't really seen each other since about 8th grade or so, but I still thought about you from time to time. I will miss you, doll. Originally I was gonna put it in as Dolly, but kind of felt at that time that would be kind of a bit inappropriate. But Wally was a doll, I will say. So as a little sign-off point, I will say I know I will see you again, and I hope to see you again, Molly Dolly. And for the rest of you, family and friends watching this, of Molly's, thank you. And to the people who will eventually be joining my channel and will be seeing all this stuff, I'll see you all in the near future. Peace.